Alright, so I'm going to be doing my review of Resident Evil Death Island. This premiered on Netflix, and funny enough, my friend Chris actually said that he was going to be getting me this on Blu-ray. Can't wait! I can't wait to have that in the collection, because I enjoyed this movie. I was going to wait till I got the Blu-ray, but then I was like, oh, it's on Netflix, I'll just give it a watch. And lo and behold, I liked it. I rather enjoyed this movie. So this is another Resident Evil CGI film, and I think we can all agree they're hit and miss, but they're all hits when you compare them to the live action Resident Evil show on Netflix, because what even the fuck was that? Like, what even the fuck was that? Now, it's important to note that all of these films are in continuity with the games, as well as in continuity with a lot of the animated shows and the animated movies. So there's a lot of canon. It's all canonical, and I gotta say, they actually do really good on keeping it canonical. And speaking of canonical, I've said that word too many times. This is the first time we get all the characters together. Like, this is the event. This should have been called Resident Evil Avengers Edition, because it's basically bringing the Avengers of the Resident Evil universe together. We have Chris, Claire, Jill, Leon, excuse me. Yeah, Leon and Rebecca from Resident Evil Zero, who I haven't seen in a while. The thing is that they only used Rebecca Chambers for, like, some of the movies, and a lot of them were ass. And she was the damsel in distress in, like, what, 3 of them? So it's cool. So there's even a moment towards the end of the film. There's like a moment towards the end of the film where they're all getting ready to fight the big boss, and they got their guns drawn. I swear to God, the musical cue sounds almost like the Avengers theme in the MCU. It straight up almost sounds like that. I shit you not. So what is, felt like something, sorry, I felt like something was in, like, my beard. So what is the story behind, almost said Justice League, it feels like that, Resident Evil Death Island? The story is that our villain for the story, Dylan Blake, who has created a new form of the bioweapon, stop me if you heard this one, has created a new form of the a new way to transfer the T-virus through biomechanical means, and is using Alcatraz as his base. There's also ties to the other film, Resident Evil Vendetta, with Aslan and his daughter. So that, if you didn't like Vendetta, which I did not care for that movie at all. This basically has all the characters going to Alcatraz to stop them in one way or another. First off, this movie really does give a lot of love to Jill, who we haven't seen in a while. This movie gives a lot of love to Jill because, yeah, this talks about, like, when Wesker mind-controlled her in 5 and 6. So we have that. It also brings up the fact that these guys have been doing the same thing for a while. They've been shooting zombies and biomechanical monstrosities, bioengineered monstrosities for decades, and they're getting like tired of it. Like, they're all war weary. They're all like, and I like that. I like that this movie has those themes of we're dealing with the trauma of all of that. Like, it doesn't go too deep, and I wish it did more, but really, like, it really does. I really do like that there are things that they address, like, yeah, like Jill especially. I wish they did more with her and talking about, like, her post-trauma of being mind controlled by Wesker. Also, there's a part of me that was, like, half expecting Ada to show up to really make it like that event, like bringing all the characters together. Hell, there's a part of me that was, like, hoping for Ethan. Wouldn't that be Ethan Winters to show up? But I know these movies take place before Biohazard, Resident Evil 7. So wouldn't that be funny, though, to have Ethan Winters in here, and, like, him and Chris are talking, and it's like, Chris is like, how's your wife, Ethan? Dead, asshole. Thanks for asking. But yeah, so the action in here and the animation is awesome. There's, like, these people who were behind this, the studio behind this, and the animation department in general behind this film must have been taking fucking notes from John Wick movies, because there is some straight up John Wick gun fu in here in some scenes. There's one fight between Arizin, I can't pronounce that fucking name, Arison's daughter and Leon. That's fucking awesome. There's a great, some great fighting in here. When Chris and Claire are teaming up to fight zombies in Alcatraz, it's great. There's some great hand-to-hand and gun action, including Jill. I think Jill gets some of the best scenes in here. This really kind of low-key does feel like her movie. Yeah, I think this is some of the best action I've seen in one of these films. Vendetta was all right. I think I really do enjoy Degeneration, and that was so long ago. And they actually make a callback to that in this movie. This was like bringing up the greatest hits. They even bring up Resident Evil Revelations 2. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, so this is, I think, action-wise, it's really good. Now, let's talk about some negatives, because there are some negatives in this movie. One thing I really have to address is that there's a moment in here where I don't want to. Okay, fuck it, I'll spoil it. It's been out for a few months, and you probably already saw it on Netflix if you're here. There's a scene where like a majority of the characters outside of Jill get infected by these by Blake, the villain's mosquito bots, and rather than turning instantly as we've seen, instead it takes them like forever. They're literally running on Dragon Ball Z planet blowing up time to turn into zombies. And yeah, it's like, I was just like, hey, wait a minute. And you could make the argument, oh, it took a while. No, it didn't. It was like almost instantaneous with all these other people. It was like seconds after they got bit by these mosquito bots. So why the fuck did it take so long? Oh, right, main character plot drama. Okay. Also, the main villain and a lot of these Resident Evil movie villains really suck, and Blake's no different. Even in the movie they address like, oh, boo fucking who, you killed your friend, you made the conscious choice to kill your friend, and now you just want to make the world feel bad about it. Fuck you. And yeah, it is kind of cool that they tie Blake in with the original with Resident Evil 2, and how his team was part of the initial evacuation of Umbrella agents in Resident Evil 2. But yeah, his whole plot of there's no justice in the world. There's only he's like going on about justice and guilt and all of that, and it all feels superficial, because then he turns into a giant shark monster at the end. Yeah, that happens. But hey, cool action though. So yeah, but that's the thing, like, I don't think I've seen a good villain for any of these films. All in all, it's definitely the most fun I've had with a Resident Evil animated film. It was better. It was way better than that Infinite Darkness short-lived series, which clearly was meant to be a movie, but they cut it up into making it episodes. You can't convince me otherwise. But yeah, so if you're a Resident Evil fan, I'd say check this out. And like I said, Chris did say he was sending me this on Blu-ray, and I'm kind of excited to have it in my collection. This was definitely a good watch. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of Resident Evil Death Island? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.